Today begins day 4 of testimony in the trial of the 3 white men who killed Ahmaud Arbery. Unsettling images, more of them, showing blood-covered Travis McMichael were unveiled in the courtroom Tuesday. See him there, prosecution poking holes in the defense version that all 3 were trying to make a citizen's arrest when they chased down Ahmaud Arbery. BNC's Drake Clark has the latest from Brunswick, Georgia.
Ahmaud Arbery was casually jogging on a sunny afternoon until he crossed paths with Gregory McMichael. McMichael said he recognized Arbery as a neighborhood burglary suspect, so he and his son Travis grabbed their guns, hopped inside a pickup truck, and chased Arbery. Detective Parker Marcy interviewed McMichael. He was asked to read from his notes.
I'll be quoting him. He says, well, I'm thinking he's either done something to somebody's chasing him, or, I thought, well, maybe somebody drove up and found him in their house.
McMichael said Arbery had been seen on security video multiple times walking around a neighborhood house under construction. But McMichael told Marcy the guy seen on video had never stolen anything from inside the house. Still, McMichael believed Arbery might be armed and dangerous, and he was going to make a citizen's arrest.
Did he indicate at this time what he thought the guy should be arrested for?
No, ma'am.
All right. Didn't say burglary?
No, ma'am.
Didn't say criminal attempted burglary?
No, ma'am.
Didn't say trespassing?
No, ma'am.
McMichael said he yelled at Arbery to stop, but he kept running. The McMichaels were in one truck, and their neighbor, William Bryan, was in his vehicle chasing Arbery and recording it. They didn't stop until they had Arbery cornered. Again, Detective Marcy reading from his report.
The guy was cornered. He was cornered like a rat.
Cell phone video shows Arbery trying to desperately get away, but Travis McMichael shoots him with a 12-gauge shotgun. As Arbery was on the ground dying, Gregory McMichael said he moved one of Arbery's arms to make sure he didn't have a gun. Jeff Brandonberry was one of the first officers on the scene. He recalled what McMichael told him about the shooting.
To be perfectly honest with you, if I could have got a shot at the guy, I'd have shot him myself, because he was that violently, and then we were interrupted again.
Prosecutors say Ahmaud Arbery wasn't a wanted man. He never stole anything. He was a victim, they say, of 3 overzealous white men who assumed a black man running must be a criminal.
All right, obviously a lot to unpack here, so let's bring in our justice correspondent, Candace Kelley, for more perspective. Good morning to you, Candace. Day 3 of testimony here. Good morning to you. Once again, a lot to reveal. We're seeing Ahmaud Arbery alive, looking inside the house. That house is at the center of this trial. What do you think, besides seeing him alive, unlike those graphic pictures of him after he's been shot, what do you think the jurors learned from all of this?
Mike, I think that for the first time that we see him, what we get is that nothing happened. And I think while it's not compelling video at all in that sense, that's the good part for the prosecutors. And it's what we know already, that Ahmaud Arbery looked at the house like many people might do when they see open construction, to see what's going on, probably to see if there's any development, if this is something that someplace that he's come through before, just to see, what the latest is in this home, not to steal anything, not to take anything, not with any criminal intent. And that was really important, just to see this non-compelling video of Ahmaud alive, doing nothing, and then leaving. And that was the point, that this was not a crime, and there was no reason why his death should have happened, Mike.
Yeah, give me the statutes for this citizen's arrest again here, Candace, because something jumped out in Dre's package where the accused, the defendants, are saying thought that he stole something instead of actually knowing. How can that come into play?
Well, listen, when you are making a citizen's arrest in Georgia back, last year, as we know, that law's been repealed. But at the time, if you were making a citizen's arrest, you had to know that a crime was being committed, or know that a felony was being committed, or you had reasonable In other words, perhaps some evidence. Specifically, you need to know that there's a felony in the process of being committed, or that there is a reasonable suspicion or high probability that something was committed. Here, even by Gregory and Michael's own admission, he said specifically, I don't think the guy has actually stolen anything out of the house. And that was repeated by the prosecutor over and over again. Well, if you don't think the guy has stolen anything out of the house, then you have no reason, you should have no motivation to make a citizen's arrest at the time. So that was a big day for the prosecution, Mike.
Yeah, just like in the testimony that Roddy Brown gave to the police officer right after, that McMichael's never said anything to the officers about a citizen's arrest. So we did hear some of the testimony from Gregory McMichael read aloud in court. What stood out to you about what was said about why and how Arbery died?
Well, I think it's really important to know that when these officers came upon the scene, there, first of all, was so much deference given to these three defendants. They were not separated in any way. They were able to talk. There were people who came up and talked during the time that officers and investigators were talking themselves. It was not treated as a crime scene. There was this automatic assumption, and we've been hearing this word so many times throughout the trial, assumptions. There was an automatic assumption that the guy on the ground probably did something wrong, and that these three defendants, they're okay. But a couple of things that we heard. One is that he said that he saw Ahmaud on video breaking into all of these houses, quote unquote, and that Ahmaud would come back every third or fourth night. Well, we know that's not true. There were not a series of videos of Ahmaud coming back 3 and 4 nights. But again, what I said before was very, very key. He said, quote, I don't think the guy has actually stolen anything out of there. And that is key when it comes to the citizen's arrest law, Mike.
Candace, we saw a lot of bickering yesterday. You saw that the judge had to admonish one of the attorneys yesterday, bickering between the attorneys, the jury. They had to step outside, I think, at least 6 times. Very slow pace this trial is going at right now. What kind of effect do you think that's going to have on the 12 that's listening in on this case?
Listen, we've talked about jury fatigue. Let's talk about judge fatigue. He was tired of the attorneys themselves. This is why he chastised one of the defense attorneys, saying, listen, you're actually being rude. He couldn't even get his words together. He just gave the court a break, had the jurors step out. As you said, they stepped out at least a half a dozen times. Listen, this is an interruption of the case. The continuity and flow of hearing the evidence and hearing information from witnesses is very important. You never like a break in the continuity of the story, because that is what juries are hearing. They're hearing a story. And, when you watch a story on TV, that's why we hate commercial breaks, right? We just want it to keep on going. The way that these attorneys were acting was really ridiculous. A lot of motions and issues that should have come up way before trial that are now interrupting the flow. And as a juror, you just get tired of that. And as we saw from the judge, Mike, he was tired of it too. I'm sure that is what's happening to these jurors who have to keep getting up, sitting down, getting up, sitting down, as you said, at least a half a dozen times.
So you see that kind of attitude from an attorney, and sometimes, as a person, you're just human nature. You look at this person like, he is not a good person, or you call them certain names under your breath if you are into that type of language. So how can an attorney's behavior have an effect on a jury? Not the defendants themselves, but the attorneys and their behavior and their attitudes.
Well, listen, you're making a great point. The attorney has to make friends with these jurors, has to be the person that you might want to have a drink with, invite over your home. If you don't like this attorney representing the defendants, then you may have an inclination to not like what they are saying. And listen, there are 10 attorneys in this room because we've got 3 defendants. And all these attorneys are kind of getting a shot. They've got a lead attorney, but you really have to make a good impression because there's so many attorneys that are making their rounds that you have to really kind of play a little bit harder to make friends with the jurors, to make them like you. And I'm afraid that this one particular defense attorney who was chastised and admonished yesterday by the judge, this is something he's been doing since day one, and it's very interruptive, and the judge ultimately said was rude, and it does make a difference. The jurors have to like you. If you're being rude to the court, rude to the judge, what does that mean about you as a person? And it does make a difference for the jurors to kind of like you, and I think that here, he was not a very likable character yesterday.
Yeah, it's one thing to do what you got to do for your client. It's another thing to know that this is a high-profile case and a lot of eyes on you right now. So you're looking for that moment, not necessarily looking for the moment to help your client, but looking for your moment to be good on television.
To pull
Candace,
those
you're
jurors
good on
in,
television
right?
every time. Well, yeah, to pull the jurors, well, to pull those endorsements in afterwards because you want to get more clients. You know, you want to make a name for yourself off of this case.
That's true.
And looking for that Johnny Cocker moment. You know, somebody's going to be rhyming pretty soon, but to be honest with you. Candace Kelley, you're a good television. Of course, we love your legal mind. We're going to check back in with you in the next hour and throughout the day right here as we lead up to day 4 of testimony in the trial of the men who killed Ahmaud Arbery. So stick around, Candace. Appreciate you.